On yesterday, Sunday evening, Pokerstars just had a major server breakdown and 4 nations, Romania, Bulgaria, Czech Republic and Belgium, remained to stay online, steal everyone's blinds, and then managed 30 minutes later in the refund to get the majority of the money in these tournaments. How's it going, guys? My name is Andreas, and on this channel I'm gonna bring you poker news but also some poker strategy content. If you want to check that out, go over to my playlist on my channel. Now, let's have a look at what happened yesterday. There's a lot of comments on the Twitter page. I'm gonna have a look at some of these screenshots that people provided after, this all went down on Stars. You can see that all these 4 countries mentioned in the intro, people just managed to get those massive chip stacks from these 4 countries. And then eventually people posted screenshots on Twitter. We got Jonathan Gill here posting that someone managed to get $16,000 Green Negro here in the $33 rebuy on this Sunday on Pokerstars, just because he managed to stay online. We got a couple of people just posting about it. This Robert Billy here says, this refund is absolutely unacceptable. My stack was worth much more when the server crashed, and all the Belgian players have got easy money now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But Dramatic Dejan, also a fellow poker streamer here on Twitch, saying in GG to those Romanian Czech Bulgarians on stealing their way to those sweet payouts at Pokerstars. And we see providing with a screenshot of all these countries managing to bring some multiple Ks here in the Sunday million without really doing all that much. And then stealing the blinds and clicking some buttons. We've got Chris Pokerstars here also posting the policy of Pokerstars, what they're doing. And the way it usually works is that they pay out half of the prize pool equally, and the other half is based on chip counts. So if someone has a lot of chips, he's gonna get a lot more money of the refunds, which usually would be fair, unless of course a lot of countries manage to still stay online and steal everyone's blind to then get a much bigger refund. We have Pokerstars also commenting on it and says, they say, we have received a high volume of support requests due to yesterday's site issues. And if your query relates to these issues, please tweet at us at Pokerstars and accept our apologies as we work to answer all these queries ASAP. We got Mind Ugas Jonathas with the same screenshots as we saw before. And then a lot of people basically being mad about, people stealing their blinds. We got a video of Katya Pasiat posting all these countries mentioned and how they build their stacks, and people going into ethics of whether you should steal those stacks. Let's roll things up by looking at this last statement that WLS made, that a 600k winning player, continuously stole the blinds in this situation and took advantage of the server breakdown of Pokerstars to make a lot of money. Now, I think this is completely wrong. In my opinion, everyone who was involved here would have done the same, because it's very clear that people are not just gonna go, oh, these all players sit out, so I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna give all my other fellow Belgian players the chance to take my blind and everyone else's blinds. This is just not what's happening. When people disconnect, will steal the blinds. This is just what always has happened. There's some exceptions. If you're in a heads-up match, you can, let your opponents come back if you want to do so, especially if he's a buddy of yours and you know that he's a disconnect and he can fix it within some minutes. But in general, people will be selfish in this area and you should do the same. This is just a play to make as a poker player, I think. And this is not gonna change that everyone's all of a sudden knows about these server crashes and how everyone should behave. And if everyone does it, okay, that's fine. Now, let me just assure you that I wouldn't think the same outside of poker. This eye for eye principle is not really how I want to live life or how I want to act, but in poker, I just know that this is how things are done. And I don't think anyone can be blamed for taking the blinds here. So those 4 countries are not to blame. Also, people who now try to cash out and, expect that they can keep the money, whatever, it's just common sense that people will try to do that. But let's have a look at what Pokerstars could be doing in this situation. Well, first of all, there's certainty that those 4 countries will make some money one way or the other. And I think that for the losses of other players, like, this money just doesn't come from thin air. This money comes from you guys, from all the other people that were playing on this Sunday. And I think that the person or the institution that has to be responsible, this is Pokerstars as a company themselves. They have to come up with the money that people lost to these 4 countries, at least for a large chunk of it. Whatever they cannot retrieve from those 4 nations, if people cash out already and they cannot get that money, they have to just cough it up themselves. This is just really me talking hopefully to Pokerstars directly, and we as a community should talk to them directly. You have to bring up this money. This is clearly a scam if you allow people from 4 countries to take all the blinds, a lot of the money from these tournaments, and you cannot get that money back from them because they cash out or whatever. I think cash out are blocked, by the way, I would assume. At least I read something about it. But if you somehow do the wrong thing and you cannot, get that AV loss back to players, you clearly scammed them again after what happened with Supernova Elite. So if the company does that continuously, the reputation will suffer more. There's a lot that has happened in the last couple of years that was unethical at best, and now it's really time that they take responsibility for what happened. And I'm really curious how this all turns out. Now I want to ask you guys, let me know in the comment section below, what should the refund policy look like? They obviously let the tournament roll on for another 30 minutes or so, and those countries stole all the blinds, or a lot of them, and just made a bunch of money. But what should Pokerstars do in your opinion? Should they just, cough up a lot of money and just bring it to the people that had a huge EV loss in those sessions? How should they even estimate it? It's really tough. Do they still have the data from 30 minutes ago where people didn't steal the blinds? Is that somehow retrievable? And them being able to refund the money to the players with an EV loss? Those are all questions that need to somehow be answered. But let me know in the comment section if you have some unique approach on how to deal with this in case that happens again. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and as I said, if you want to check out some strategy content, there's a lot on my YouTube channel for free for you to become a better poker player. Thanks for tuning in, and see you for the next one.